Now, Morgan Stanley, $1.5 trillion under management, right? Yesterday, it was reported that they and UBS is also a huge bank, they're in a race to offer warehousing for ETFs. Okay. They want to make money by holding ETFs from the big fund managers, but that's not all. Morgan Stanley is now racing to come up with their own Bitcoin ETF so they can offer it to their wealth clients and wealth managers around the world. I mean, literally every single bank on the planet right now is trying to FOMO into Bitcoin. That's the honest reality. Because the ones that are left on the side right now realize they made a mistake. That Bitcoin is not a fad. It will continue to go upwards and get stronger and more adopted around the world. And those that don't adapt will fall behind and crumble. And that is the reason why every single bank now is FOMOing in. Even countries. Look at Australian monochrome spot ETF expected to launch in 2 months. So we're hearing Hong Kong wants to launch spot ETFs. Okay, Australia and many other countries as well. Again, these fund managers, banks, financial institutions, they don't want to miss out. They really don't. Okay, and it's gotten to a point where there's so much FOMO and so much worry about, well, where are we going to get all the Bitcoin? Now they are directly calling the miners. So HUD 8 told DL News that basically they've been getting calls. They've been getting calls directly from these banks asking for OTC buys. Okay, think about it. You know, I've always said supply and demand. There's just not enough supply to go around. Bitcoin is limited, unlike anything else out there. And these guys know, like, where do you go get the Bitcoin from, right? They don't want to disrupt the price too much. They don't want to go buy and spot Coinbase. That's the last thing they want to do. So now they're trying to hunt down all the companies that actually have real Bitcoin and try to do OTC deals with them. You know, but the smart thing for all these miners and Coinbase and everyone else is just say no. No to OTC. Zero. You want to buy it? You go on my spot platform, go sign on Coinbase and buy $100 million. Okay? That's what they all should do. None of them should do any OTC sales at this point. But, you know, that's the reality. You know, the FOMO... That's why the FOMO intensifies. I know a lot of you guys may not think so. You're looking at today's current price and you're like, what are you talking about? How come it's not going up? You know, these guys are making moves behind the scenes. That's what you really need to pay attention to. If you know what's really going on behind the scenes, then you know Bitcoin is set to explode. It's set to go up much higher and very soon too. So as for these ETFs, they have soaked up 4.25% of this total circulating supply. That includes Grayscale too. Yesterday I covered one without Grayscale. Today includes Grayscale. That's almost 5% of supply within a very, very short amount of time. Now think about it. Vast majority of Bitcoin is being held by long-term holders, miners, and Satoshi himself and others that basically held on forever, right? So there's not that much to go around. And when 5% of the circulating supply is eaten away already, you know, again, it causes that supply shock, that scarcity. And that's why a lot of these banks are going straight to miners, because they're afraid they're not going to be able to buy anymore soon. So as for yesterday, let's see. Let me remove my camera. As for yesterday, Grayscale sold about 79 million, under 100 million. BlackRock bought 141 million. Fidelity bought 126 million. Overall net 230 plus million. If you exclude Grayscale, then 309 million. So Grayscale selling does seem like it's slowing down dramatically. Okay. The worst may be over for Grayscale. And that would be absolutely awesome. Keep in mind, we are 2 weeks away. 2 weeks away from the halving event. 2 weeks away. It's a really bullish catalyst that you don't want to miss. However, unfortunately, looking at this, every time I look at this, I cringe because I don't know if you guys can see the pattern here. Bitcoin distribution lasts 90 days, 60 days, and yesterday. Okay. Do you see the pattern here? Do you see the pattern? It's pretty clear. On day-to-day basis, you may have some selling red, but if you look at the last 60 days and look at the last 90 days, who are the people that are selling Bitcoin? 0 to 1, 1 to 10, 10 to 100 Bitcoin, right? These are retail investors. Retail investors, unfortunately, are selling due to panic or maybe profiting. You could argue one or other, but I think recently it's been more like FUD and people thinking that, oh, we're going to go to 40K or, you know, the top is in, whatever. But who does not stop the buying? The plus 100 Bitcoin holders, who are basically the whales and the companies and institutions, they continue to load up. Do you not see this wealth transfer? The wealth transfer is happening in front of our eyes at a rapid scale. And I've been warning about this. These ETFs, the institutions, the private companies, the fund managers, they are buying up Bitcoin like crazy behind the scenes. Yet retail continues to sell and think, well, there will always be enough Bitcoin for all of us. No, that's not the case. That's not the case. In the future, you'll be able to buy Bitcoin, but it's going to be a lot more expensive than now. This may be the last cycle that retail investors can buy cheap Bitcoin, okay? Reasonable price Bitcoin and get a significant amount, because after this cycle, that opportunity probably is over. You're not going to be able to buy significant amount of Bitcoin anymore, right? So, you know, whenever I see this, it's like, come on, guys, come on. Who is selling right now? Who's selling and just it's going straight into the big boys' pockets? That's exactly what's happening. Why would anyone be selling right now? Last few things about Bitcoin. If you're looking at drawdowns from the previous cycles and now, you can see how tame it is, okay? Some of these drops that we had, 10%, 15%, 20%, seems like it's bad. But if you lived through some of these previous cycles, you know that they're absolutely nothing. We are so calm compared to previous cycles. It's not even close. It's not even close. Again, why? It's due to the supply shock, due to the ETFs, due to the big boys that continue to keep on buying. So even when the market makers or the manipulators are trying to manipulate, they can't do much because most of it is being eaten away, right? So again, if you're thinking that, you know, it's not looking good, it's not looking bright, why are things not moving? Why are they going down? Blah, 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 right? Just remember right now, we're living through the calmest cycle so far in Bitcoin's history, and it's not even close. So imagine the previous cycles.